Hey everybody, and welcome to my N5 series on the SP404 Mark II, where I cover a topic in about 5 minutes. Colonel Panic wrote in on the assigning proper BPM to recorded samples video that I did with 3 questions that I think are all interesting. I'm going to try and keep this to a 5-minute video, though I think I'm going to go a little bit longer. But first question is, what are the consequences of having a sample with the incorrect BPM information? And depending on what you're doing, it could be none. I've got this set of sounds that I think I recorded with the looper on a live stream. I forget, but they should play together in time, which is cool. And yeah, it doesn't matter what the BPM is, just because they're just being triggered as one shots, they're gated. So if I come in, hit pitch speed, and just go dial in something like 157 here on this first pad, they're still all playing in time, because it's just triggering. It's not using this BPM information for anything important. The thing to know, though, is if you're going to start doing BPM sync, I'm going to hit BPM sync, and it's grabbing the BPM, if I go shift and pad 11, from bank D is currently set to 98. So it's going to go time stretch this. And if I play all these together, they sound terrible. The reason why is, 1, this is playing at 98 BPM, or it thinks it's playing at 98 BPM, and 6 and 7 are playing with 90 BPM. So let's go fix these, and I'm going to play these all together. And it's better, but we can hear this is really not playing correctly. And the reason why is because this is a 90 BPM loop, and we've told it it's 157. Oops, we don't want manual F, we want manual. So I'm just going to go dial down back to 90, and it's going to fix the problem so that all the time stretching will work correctly. So we're back to 90. Now we're all playing these together, 98 BPM, and sounds right. So I would say, just at a surface level, it is important to have the right BPM if you're going to use BPM sync and then do time stretching things to be able to adjust them, whether it's for patterns or other content. But yeah, you probably want that correct. I will say, though, it is totally okay to go grab a value and put something weird in there, and I will show you that in a second, and get some cool effects out of it. But let's go through and turn BPM sync off for all these. So the next thing to know is, if you're not playing a pattern, when you play if nothing's playing on the SP404 Mark II, it's not getting any external sync from a different device. It is, when you play a sample, it's going to use that sample playing by itself to determine what the BPM is for effects like delay and scatter and things. So, sounds cool. We can go turn scatter on, and it's going to chop it in time. Totally cool. Sounds nice. We can play all these together. They're all being chopped up together and staying in sync. Now, if I come back into pitch and speed, and we go crank this up to 132, for example, just picking a random number, if I go play this with scatter, it's much glitchier and doesn't sound, I would say it doesn't sound as rhythmic, it just sounds glitchy, which, if you are looking for that as an effect, totally cool. Just go drag in, or not drag in, but like just set the BPM to whatever you want. You can play with it and do it as a sound design tool and like get some really fun, interesting chops out of it. But I would say, again, if you want things to sound like they're in time with each other, then you probably want to do this correctly, because it's going to pick whatever the first note I hit is. So if I just hit this first and then the other two after, you can see like they're getting all chopped together, but it just sounds a little weird or a little different. So given that, similarly, you're going to find the same problem with delays. So let's just go, actually, we can just use the built-in delay on the display here. It sounds fine and it's interesting, but it's not in time. So if we want to go fix this again, it's just hit enter, come down. We're just going to go dial back in. Whoop, went too far. Go a little slower here. Go back to 90, we exit out. And now it's in time rhythmically, And now maybe you don't like the 16th note D. I mean, you can change that to whatever you want. But it's just a thing to know is if, as I said, if nothing else is playing, then the sample BPM is what's going to be used for setting the effect. Now, up next you have, is there a correct way to correct the BPM information after recording? Yeah, as I said, like just go into pitch speed and you can go do it here. Sometimes what you might need to do is kind of play it, put it on loop if you get it looping correctly, and then just use the tap tempo to try and tap it out. You might be able to get a sense for what that BPM is correctly. Just make sure you don't have BPM sync on when you do it, because it can make things go crazy. And your last question, is there a mode where the 404 will determine the BPM from the sample length? As far as I know, there is not, and you just need to use a calculator and calculate it out yourself. So besides that, though, Kernel Panic, yeah, all great questions. I hope this helps you out. Everybody else, thanks for stopping by. Keep making music. Keep having fun. Remember, if it sounds good, it is good. Drink some water. Stay hydrated. It is important. Anyway, everybody, thanks and peace.